Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices. You can drift into the same patterns of yesterday, or you can step into a new standard for your life. The words you speak to yourself when you open your eyes are not just words. They are commands to your mind, to your emotions, to your destiny. So I want to give you 10 things you must tell yourself every single morning if you're serious about living life at your peak. Number 1, I am in control of my mind, my body, and my emotions. Don't let yesterday's failures, stress, or someone else's negativity dictate how you feel today. You set the tone. Number 2, I am stronger than any excuse, because let's be honest, excuses are lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. If you want growth, you've got to declare war on excuses. Number 3, I have everything I need inside me right now. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect time. You have what it takes today. Number 4, I will use my pain as fuel. Every challenge, every setback, every scar you've ever had is not here to break you. It's here to build you. Say it until you believe it. Number 5, I am committed, not interested. People who are interested dabble. People who are committed find a way, no matter what. Commitment creates certainty. Number 6, I choose progress over perfection. Perfection keeps you paralyzed. Progress, even messy progress, keeps you alive, moving, and winning. Number 7, I am worthy of success, love, and abundance. Stop shrinking yourself. Stop doubting your value. The standard you set for yourself is the standard the world will treat you with. Number 8, I will not let fear run my life. Fear is a liar. Fear is a story. And the only way to crush it is to take action in spite of it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's deciding you're bigger than fear. Number 9, I am grateful. Gratitude is power. When you focus on what you already have, you step into a state of strength, clarity, and unstoppable energy. And number 10, today is my day. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Today is the day you rise. Today is the day you fight. Today is the day you live with passion and purpose. Say these 10 things to yourself every morning, not once, but with conviction, with energy, with absolute certainty. Because the voice you listen to the most is your own. And if your inner voice is weak, your life will be weak. But if your inner voice is powerful, if it speaks truth, strength, and belief, then nothing can stop you. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just roll out of bed. Stand up, look yourself in the mirror, and declare these truths. Make them your ritual. Make them your standard, and watch your life transform. Every single morning when you open your eyes, before the world rushes in with its noise, its demands, its distractions, you have the opportunity to set the stage for your entire day, your entire mood, your entire performance. Most people don't realize the power of those first few moments after waking up. They stumble into the day on autopilot, letting their phone, their notifications, or their problems dictate how they feel, what they focus on, and how they act. But that is not how leaders operate. That is not how peak performers operate. That is not how someone who is hungry for growth and determined to live an extraordinary life operates. The words you tell yourself each morning set the tone for your entire day. They shape your psychology. They shift your emotional state, and they prime your body to either shrink or rise. Think about it. If the very first thought you repeat is, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I don't want to do this, then you've already lost the battle before the day even begins. Your body will follow the commands of your mind, and your mind will obey the language you feed it. But if instead the first words you declare are powerful, intentional, and full of certainty, then your mind snaps into alignment with that power and your body follows with energy, focus, and drive. Every champion you've ever admired, every entrepreneur who built something massive, every athlete who pushed beyond human limits, every leader who moved people, they all understood this simple truth. Your state creates your results, and your words create your state. What you tell yourself again and again programs your subconscious. And that programming does not vanish after a few seconds. It carries into how you walk, how you breathe, how you face challenges, how you deal with setbacks, and how you seize opportunities. You've probably experienced this before without even realizing it. Have you ever had a morning where you woke up feeling unstoppable? Maybe you told yourself today's the day. I've got this. Nothing is going to stand in my way. And suddenly you found yourself moving with speed, knocking out tasks, feeling focus, handling stress with ease, and attracting people who wanted to work with you or support you. That wasn't luck. That was self-command. That was you taking control of the narrative in your head before the world had a chance to hijack it. On the flip side, maybe you've had mornings where you said nothing to yourself, or worse, you repeated negativity. You woke up with the weight of yesterday's problem still hanging over you. You replayed the mistake, the argument, the fear, and you told yourself today will be just as bad. What happened? Your energy dropped. Your body felt heavy. Your opportunities seemed harder to see, and your confidence shrank. It's not magic, it's psychology. The words we plant in our mind at the start of the day grow into the emotions, the actions, and ultimately the results we experience that day. If you want new results, you must start with new commands. The most successful people understand rituals, and the most important ritual you can build is your morning dialogue with yourself. You don't need to wait for motivation to come knocking. You don't need to wait for someone else to inspire you. You don't need to hope the day will be kind to you. You take charge by speaking life, power, and certainty into yourself before you even leave your bedroom. Tell yourself exactly how you're going to show up. Tell yourself exactly who you choose to be. Tell yourself the truth that you are capable, that you are stronger than your doubts, that you are prepared, that today is not random. It's yours to design. When you do this consistently, your brain builds a new default mode. Instead of waking up with fear, hesitation, or confusion, you wake up wired for strength, focus, and clarity. You start to expect good things. You start to look for opportunities. You start to walk with more energy. People feel it, they respond to it, and your entire environment shifts in your favor. Science backs this up. Neuroplasticity tells us that the brain rewires itself according to repeated thought patterns. That means your morning declarations are not just motivational fluff. They are literally reshaping the pathways in your brain. The more often you feed it empowering language, the more automatic confidence and focus become. It's like working out a muscle. At first it feels forced, awkward, even fake. But the repetition builds strength, and before long it's your natural way of operating. Athletes use this, soldiers use this, performers use this, and you can use it too. Your words in the morning are the steering wheel of your day. They determine if you're going to crash into the same old habits or drive into new levels of performance. Imagine two people waking up tomorrow. One says nothing or repeats the same tired complaint about their life. The other stands tall, breathes deep, and declares with conviction, I am in control. I am unstoppable. I am ready. I will win today. Which of those two people do you think is going to recognize opportunities, push through obstacles, and feel alive at the end of the day? It's obvious. The difference isn't luck, intelligence, or talent. The difference is the standard they set with their morning words. So the choice is yours. Will you drift into the day letting outside forces control your mood, your energy, your destiny, or will you seize those first precious minutes and use them to lock in the state of a leader, a fighter, a creator? Every morning you are programming your future. Every morning you are choosing weakness or strength. Every morning you are either repeating yesterday or writing a new story. Speak the words that pull you into the best version of yourself, because the words you tell yourself each morning set the tone for your entire day, and the tone of your day sets the direction of your life. Excuses are the silent killers of dreams, the invisible chains that keep people stuck in the same place year after year, the clever lies we whisper to ourselves to stay safe, comfortable, and small. Every human being has used excuses at some point because they feel good in the moment. They protect our ego from the sting of failure. They justify inaction. They make us feel less guilty for settling. But here's the truth. Excuses are the most expensive habit you can have because they rob you of progress. They rob you of growth, and they rob you of the life you're capable of living. When you wake up in the morning and allow excuses to flow into your mind, you've already sabotaged your own power. The difference between the people who rise and the people who stay stuck is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It's the decision to cut off excuses and replace them with empowering declarations. Think about the language of excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. I don't have the right resources. These phrases sound harmless, but every time you say them, you program your brain to accept mediocrity as normal. Excuses shrink your vision. They blind you to solutions. They convince you to stop before you even start. You begin to live in a cycle of hesitation and delay, waiting for some perfect moment that never arrives. But life does not reward those who wait. Life rewards those who act. And the only way to break free is to replace excuses with empowering declarations that remind you who you really are and what you're really capable of. When you say, I'm too tired, you are telling your body to stay weak. But when you declare, I am stronger than any excuse, you ignite energy within yourself. When you say, I don't have time, you are surrendering control. But when you declare, I make time for what matters, you reclaim your power. When you say, I'll start tomorrow, you postpone your destiny. But when you declare, I start now, you activate momentum. Every empowering statement is a weapon against the lies of excuses. Every time you replace weakness with strength in your language, you are training your brain to move forward instead of holding back. The truth is, excuses are easy because they cost nothing in the moment, but they cost everything in the long run. They cost you your health, your wealth, your relationships, your confidence, your dreams. You may not feel the weight of them today, but years later you look back and realize all the times you said, I can't, or I'll wait, were the exact moments your life could have changed. Nobody ever looks back and feels proud of the excuses they made, but people look back and feel empowered by the moments they pushed forward despite every reason not to. You have to understand, the mind will always offer excuses because the mind loves comfort, but growth never comes from comfort. Growth comes from stretching, from discomfort, from pushing beyond the lies you tell yourself. This is why it's critical every morning to declare that you are stronger than excuses, because if you don't, the excuses will win by default. The brain is designed to conserve energy, avoid pain, and seek comfort. That's survival mode. But survival mode is not living. Survival mode keeps you breathing, but it doesn't let you thrive. To break free, you must consciously reprogram your thoughts with language that commands strength. Instead of saying, I don't feel like it, say, my feelings don't decide my future. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I am resourceful. I will find a way. Instead of saying, I failed before, say, I learned before, now I'm stronger. This is not about lying to yourself. This is about speaking the truth that excuses try to cover up. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not the ones who never had excuses. They are the ones who refused to obey them. They felt tired but did it anyway. They lacked resources but started anyway. They were scared but took the step anyway. That's what separates winners from the average. They learned that every time you let an excuse dictate your action, you give away your power, and every time you rise above an excuse, you build strength, confidence, and momentum. Over time, this compounds. The weak words fade away, and the strong words become your identity. Imagine two people facing the same obstacle. One says, this is too hard, I can't handle it, and gives up. The other says, this is tough, but I am tougher, and pushes forward. Who grows? Who gains the experience, the resilience, the confidence? Who discovers new opportunities? The difference isn't the obstacle, it's the language. One chose the excuse, the other chose the declaration. This is why your morning ritual matters so much. It's not just about hyping yourself up. It's about training your brain for battle, arming yourself with the words that will carry you through when life inevitably gets difficult. You cannot eliminate challenges from life, but you can eliminate excuses. You cannot guarantee the perfect conditions, but you can guarantee your response. Excuses are easy, declarations are hard, but declarations lead to freedom. The discipline of telling yourself you are stronger than excuses builds a mindset where you no longer wait for the right moment. You create it. You no longer wait for someone else to validate you. You validate yourself. You no longer surrender your day to weakness. You rise into it with strength. The world is filled with people living under the weight of excuses, but the ones who break out, the ones who create impact, the ones who change their lives and inspire others are the ones who mastered this inner battle. And the battle begins in the morning, in the words you speak to yourself before anyone else has a chance to speak into you. When you make the decision that excuses will no longer run your life, you step into a new identity. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of outcomes. You are no longer reacting to what life gives you. You are declaring what you demand from yourself. That's why the phrase, I am stronger than any excuse, is not just a line. It's a weapon, a standard, a declaration of war against everything that holds you back. The moment you make it your morning mantra, you stop living small and you start living with unstoppable drive. Inside every single person walking this planet lies a reservoir of strength, creativity, resilience, and power that most never tap into because they are waiting for something outside of themselves to give them permission to begin. They wait for the right opportunity, the right support, the right resources, the right circumstances, as if greatness is something that must be granted from the outside world. But the truth is, you have everything you need inside you right now. You are not missing anything. You are not incomplete. You are not lacking. You have been designed with everything required to break through obstacles, to create success, to live with passion, and to rise above the limitations that life throws at you. The problem is not that you don't have enough. The problem is that you don't believe you already have it when you wake up in the morning and declare to yourself that you have everything you need inside you. You immediately cut off the excuses that try to convince you that you must wait. Waiting is the silent killer of dreams. Waiting is what keeps people stuck in patterns they hate. Waiting convinces you that you are not ready yet. And so life passes by while you remain in the same place. But those who succeed don't wait for perfect timing. They create it. They know that inside of them is the resourcefulness, the creativity, and the drive to figure it out along the way. Think about every great innovator, every champion, every leader who ever made history. None of them started with perfect conditions. Most of them started with less than you have right now. They had no certainty, no guarantee, no clear roadmap. But what they did have was the belief that they were equipped from within to figure it out. That belief made them act. And that action created momentum. And that momentum created results. The truth is that life will always present you with reasons why you are not ready. There will always be a lack of money, a lack of time, a lack of support, a lack of clarity. But when you lean into the truth that everything you need is already inside you, you stop focusing on what is missing and start focusing on what you can create. You shift from scarcity to abundance. Scarcity says, I don't have enough. Abundance says, I will use what I have and make it grow. Scarcity says, I can't start until it's perfect. Abundance says, I start now and perfect it as I move forward. Scarcity says, I'm not ready. Abundance says, I was born ready. This shift in mindset transforms how you show up, how you think, and how you act. It removes hesitation and replaces it with confidence. It takes away fear and replaces it with courage. You've probably had moments in your life where you were forced to act without everything being perfectly lined up. Maybe you were thrown into a challenge you didn't expect. Maybe you had to solve a problem with limited resources. Maybe you had to step up and lead when no one else would. And in those moments, what happened? You found a way. You dug deeper. You discovered strength and creativity you didn't even know you had. That's the proof that you have what it takes. If you could rise to the occasion, then you can rise to the occasion now. The same power that got you through your past battles is the same power that will carry you through today's challenges and tomorrow's opportunities. It's not something you need to acquire. It's something you need to awaken. The challenge is that most people silence their inner power with self-doubt. They believe the lie that they're not good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or ready enough. They compare themselves to others who are further ahead and convince themselves that they don't have what it takes. But comparison is the thief of progress. When you compare yourself, you look outward and forget to look inward. The truth is, you don't need to be like anyone else. You don't need to copy anyone else's journey. You don't need to replicate anyone else's strengths. You simply need to access what is already inside of you. Every person has a unique combination of gifts, talents, experiences, and perspectives that no one else has. And when you believe in that, when you lean into that, you unlock a level of authenticity and power that cannot be matched. This is why it is so important to begin every morning by declaring that you have everything you need inside you right now. Because the world will try to convince you otherwise. Advertisements will tell you that you're not complete without buying something. Doubters will tell you that you don't have enough experience. Your own fears will whisper that you're not ready. But when you look yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that you are already enough, you silence those voices. You begin the day from a place of strength instead of lack. You step into the day knowing that you don't have to wait for anyone else to give you permission. You don't need to wait for more confidence to magically appear. You don't need to wait for all the pieces to fall into place. You simply need to act from the truth that you are already equipped. Action taken from this place of inner certainty looks different. It is bolder, faster, and more consistent. Instead of hesitating, you move. Instead of questioning, you decide. Instead of doubting, you execute. And when obstacles appear, instead of breaking you, they reveal more of your strength. When setbacks come, instead of discouraging you, they become lessons that refine your approach. This is how progress is created. Not from having everything figured out in advance, but from trusting that you have the tools within you to figure it out along the way. Life rewards those who act from certainty, and certainty does not come from the outside. It comes from the inside every morning. You must remind yourself that everything you need is already inside you, because without that reminder, the world will distract you into thinking you are powerless. But you are not powerless. You are powerful beyond measure. You are not incomplete. You are overflowing with potential. You are not lacking. You are abundant. The voice you choose to believe in the morning is the voice that will control your entire day. Believe the voice of doubt and you will shrink. Believe the voice of truth and you will rise. And the truth is, you have everything you need inside you right now. Every human being experiences pain in life. Physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, the sting of rejection, the weight of failure, the HE of disappointment, the exhaustion of setbacks, the frustration of hitting walls again and again. Most people try to run from pain, to numb it, to bury it, to avoid it at all costs. But what they don't realize is that pain is not the enemy. Pain is a messenger. Pain is feedback. Pain is energy waiting to be converted into something powerful. When you decide that you will use your pain as fuel, everything in your life changes. Suddenly, the very thing that once held you down becomes the very thing that propels you forward. You stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start declaring this is happening for me. That shift in perspective transforms pain from something destructive into something constructive. Think about every breakthrough in your life. Did it come when things were easy, when everything was comfortable, when life was smooth? Or did it come when you were tested, when you were stretched, when you had to dig deeper than you thought possible? Growth never comes without struggle. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Muscles are built by tearing and repairing. Resilience is developed through resistance. Every hardship you've endured has shaped you, carved you, and prepared you for the next level. The challenge is not whether you will face pain, but what you will do with it. Some people let pain define them. They create a story around it that says, I'm broken, I'm weak, I'm unlucky. Others use pain as fuel. They create a story that says, this is my fire, this is my drive, this is the reason I will never stop. The same pain can destroy one person and transform another. The difference is not the pain itself. The difference is the meaning you give it when you wake up every morning and declare that, and you will use your pain as fuel. You remind yourself that nothing you've been through is wasted. Every scar is a lesson. Every wound is wisdom. Every failure is feedback. Instead of carrying pain like a burden, you carry it like ammunition. You look at your past and say, if I survived that, if I overcame that, if I endured that, then there is nothing in front of me that I cannot handle. That creates unshakable confidence. Because real confidence doesn't come from pretending you've never struggled. Real confidence comes from knowing you've struggled and you're still standing. Pain becomes your proof that you are stronger than you thought. And once you know that, you become unstoppable. Most people pray for an easy life, but the truth is an easy life creates weak people. It's the storms that create strength. It's the fire that forges steel. It's the pain that pulls greatness out of you. If you look at the most successful people in any field, you will find stories of deep pain. Athletes who were told they'd never make it. Entrepreneurs who lost everything before they built their empires. Leaders who were rejected, laughed at, and doubted before they were celebrated. Their pain became their reason. Their pain became their power. They didn't run from it. They ran with it. They didn't suppress it. They channeled it. That's the key. Pain left unchanneled becomes poison. Pain channeled becomes power. And the decision is always yours. In those moments when you feel pain the most, when you want to quit, when you feel like you've reached your breaking point, that is the exact moment you have the opportunity to transform it. Instead of saying, I can't take this anymore, you say this is making me stronger. Instead of saying this is unfair, you say this is preparing me. Instead of saying why me, you say try me. Those three words alone flip the script. Try me. That's the attitude of a champion. That's the mindset of someone who refuses to let pain win. That's the declaration of someone who knows that the very thing designed to break them is actually building them. The beautiful thing about pain is that it connects us. Everyone has it. Everyone carries it. And when you use your pain as fuel, you don't just rise for yourself, you rise for others. You become proof that it's possible to turn wounds into wisdom, struggles into strength, and trials into triumphs. People see your scars and they gain courage for their own battles. People hear your story and they find strength for their own journey. Your pain, when transformed, becomes a gift, not just for you, but for everyone around you. That's why hiding from it or pretending it's not there robs the world of the power that could come from your transformation. Using pain as fuel is not about enjoying suffering. It's about reframing suffering. It's about looking at the hardest parts of your life and refusing to let them go to waste. It's about demanding that if you went through it, it's going to serve you. It's going to elevate you. It's going to push you forward. That mindset turns victims into victors. That mindset turns hopelessness into resilience. That mindset turns the darkest nights into the foundation for the brightest mornings. And it doesn't matter how deep the pain is, the principle remains the same. The greater the pain, the greater the fuel. The more resistance, the more strength is built. The heavier the weight, the stronger the muscle grows. Every morning, remind yourself that pain is not here to stop you. It's here to sharpen you. Declare it before the day even begins, because life will always test you. Challenges will always come, and discomfort will always find you. If you're waiting for a pain-free path, you'll wait forever. But if you decide that pain is your power, you walk into every challenge with your head high, your shoulders back, and your heart on fire. Nothing can intimidate you. Nothing can break you. Nothing can slow you down, because you've already chosen to turn the very thing that destroys most people into the very thing that fuels you to rise. There is a massive difference between being interested in something and being committed to it. And that difference is the line between average results and extraordinary results, between dabbling and mastering, between wishing and achieving. Most people say they want success. They say they want health. They say they want love. They say they want wealth. They say they want wealth. They say they want freedom. But if you look at their actions, they are only interested. Interest is weak. It is conditional. It shows up when it's convenient, when it feels good, when it's exciting. But the moment things get hard, the moment challenges appear, the moment discipline is required, interest disappears. Commitment, on the other hand, is absolute. Commitment does not negotiate with difficulty. Commitment does not quit when it hurts. Commitment does not disappear when life tests you. Commitment says, I will find a way, no matter what. When you wake up every morning and declare, I am committed, not interested, you are setting the standard for how you will show up in every area of your life. You are telling yourself that you will not just dip your toes in the water, you will dive all the way in. You are programming your mind to push past comfort zones, to stay the course even when the motivation fades, to follow through on the promises you make to yourself. Because here's the truth: success does not come to the most talented, it comes to the most committed. Talent without commitment is wasted. Ideas without commitment die in notebooks. Goals without commitment remain fantasies. The world rewards those who stay the course, who refuse to back down, who show up consistently long after the excitement has worn off. Think about the difference between someone who is interested in getting in shape and someone who is committed. The interested person goes to the gym when it's convenient, skips when they're tired, eats healthy for a week, and then falls back into old patterns. The committed person trains even when they don't feel like it, plans their meals, makes sacrifices, and keeps going even when progress is slow. Which one transforms their body, their energy, their confidence? The difference is not in desire. Both want results. The difference is in commitment. The same is true in business, in relationships, in personal growth, in every area of life. Interested people dabble. Committed people dominate. Commitment creates certainty. When you are committed, you eliminate the option of quitting. You remove plan B. You burn the ships. That level of certainty forces your brain to find solutions it would never have found if quitting was still an option. Commitment makes you resourceful. It makes you creative. It makes you resilient. When you are only interested, every obstacle looks like a reason to stop. When you are committed, every obstacle looks like a challenge to overcome. That mindset alone is enough to change the entire trajectory of your life, because obstacles will always come. Resistance will always appear. The only question is whether you will allow them to stop you or force them to grow you. Most people underestimate the power of commitment because they live in a world that glorifies quick wins, instant gratification, shortcuts. But anything worthwhile requires depth, consistency, and persistence. Commitment is what keeps you going when the results are not immediate. Commitment is what keeps you disciplined when nobody is watching. Commitment is what keeps you focused when distractions are pulling at you from every direction. And here's the beautiful part. Once you train yourself to be committed in one area, that identity spills over into other areas. If you can be committed in your fitness, you can be committed in your career. If you can be committed in your relationships, you can be committed in your personal development. Commitment builds a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. When you make commitment your standard, your self-respect grows. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you build trust with yourself. Most people don't trust themselves because they've broken their own promises too many times. They say they'll start the diet and quit. They say they'll wake up early and hit snooze. They say they'll save money and spend it. Every broken promise weakens their identity. But when you declare I am committed and back it up with action, you begin to rewrite that identity. You start to see yourself as someone who does what they say they'll do. That belief is powerful. When you trust yourself, your confidence skyrockets. And when your confidence skyrockets, your results multiply. Commitment is not glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not Instagram worthy most of the time. Commitment is waking up early, grinding through the work, pushing through fatigue, saying no to distractions, choosing discipline over comfort over and over again. It's not always exciting, but it is always worth it, because commitment produces results, and results build momentum, and momentum creates a life most people only dream about. The people you admire, the ones who have achieved extraordinary things, they didn't get there because they were interested. They got there because they were obsessed, disciplined, relentless. They chose commitment every single day, especially on the days when it was hardest. Every morning you have a choice. Will you treat your goals as something you're interested in, something you'll pursue if it's easy, if it's convenient, if it feels good? Or will you treat them as commitments, non-negotiable, locked in, guaranteed? That decision determines your destiny. Because interest fades when things get tough, but commitment gets tougher when things get tough. Interest is about feelings. Commitment is about decisions. Interest wavers, commitment anchors. Interest says someday, Commitment says today, interest waits for motivation, commitment creates it. Interest is fragile, commitment is unbreakable. When you remind yourself every morning that you are committed, not interested, you are conditioning your brain for victory. You are drawing a line in the sand that says, I will not dabble. I will not quit. I will not lower my standards. You are telling yourself that you will go all in no matter how long it takes, no matter how many obstacles appear, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. That kind of mindset makes you unstoppable because the world cannot break someone who has already decided they will not stop. Once you truly understand the difference between interest and commitment, you will never again settle for dabbling. You will never again wait for the perfect time. You will never again let excuses win. You will stand firm, move forward, and do whatever it takes because commitment is the foundation of every great achievement and the ultimate declaration of who you choose to be